Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. Yesterday I had the engine running, and one of the things that I found was that the clutch is stuck. You know, the plate is stuck to the flywheel or whatever. I don't really have any great ideas, but what I thought I might try is putting the handbrake on, putting my foot on the brakes, and then just pulling the starter, see if the shock of the starter will shake it loose. Look, I doubt whether it will happen, but as far as I know, I don't think these gearboxes come out. I think you have to pull the engine and box. I'm not sure about that. I just don't know. I also don't think there's an access window like there is on an early Ford box. I don't think there is. So I thought I'll try that first. One of the other techniques is to basically start it in gear, but you need space to be able to do that, you know. So you'd be out on the road and you'd start it in gear, and then you'd get up to a speed where the engine's at its maximum torque, and then go hard on the throttle, hard off the, you know, and then go full throttle, close throttle, full throttle, close throttle, full throttle, close throttle, at maximum torque, hoping that the torque of the engine will bust it loose. I live in a busy suburban area, and to be perfectly frank, I don't fancy doing that out on the road, and I can't take it anywhere where I can do it. So I'm more or less, so I'm just going to try this now. So I thought, well, I'll turn the camera on just in case it works. So let's just see what happens. I've vacuumed the car out, tidied out the car, and bolted a seat in. I don't know if this is the driver's seat or the passenger seat, but it's slightly better condition than that one, so I thought, well, I'll use this one as a driver's seat then. Let's get in then and see what happens. Okay, handbrake on, foot brake on. What gear should we go for? Third gear. Pull the starter, see what happens. Oh, I ain't got the clutch down. Push starter down. Push clutch down, rather. Oh! 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 Oh, now, does that mean that my wheel turned, or does that mean that it broke it free? It didn't go really free though, did it? I wonder if I just haven't got enough travel on this clutch pedal. Okay. Right, I've got the clutch down, brakes pressed hard on. Excuse the expression. Oh! Oh, it's okay. Oh no, it ain't. I ain't in gear. Hang on. Okay. Oh, hang on. I keep taking it out of gear for some reason. Now, is that overcoming the brakes? I'm not sure. I'll keep taking it out of gear out of habit. Yeah, that's. See what I'll do. I'll put the camera so I can see the wheel. See if the wheel's turning. I had a little feeling like it went then, but it might have been the wheel. I'll do the same on the other side. I noticed that if I didn't press my foot really firmly, I got that sort of slow rotation. If I had my foot pressed really firmly, it just did the solid ka-chunk thing. So I'll have a look at the footage and see if my camera shows the same. Hang on. Hello. Right, I've looked at the footage and you will have already seen it. This left hand wheel was turning slightly up virtually every time, so the clutch is stuck. Now, where do I go from here? I don't really want to pull the motor out. It comes down to what's the quickest and sort of simplest, isn't it? Quickest, simplest and safest, really. Okay, let me have a think about it then, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Okay, well that didn't work. I've got a screwdriver wedged in the prop shaft to stop the prop from turning. This way you can hear that solid knock. But I've also got a ratchet on the crank pulley, and the ratchet is being pulled across to that anti-roll bar. So I've got the torque of the starter plus the torque that I'm applying to that bolt there, which is quite a lot, to be honest. So basically it hasn't come unstuck. It looks almost inevitable that I'm going to have to pull the motor, because I'm pretty sure you can't pull just the gearbox on these, because it goes through that centre part of the cross member up there. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad if I could just pull the gearbox. I mean, it won't be too bad pulling the motor, but you know, it's a pain, isn't it, this late in the day? I'll have a think about it. I'll have a chat with my insurance company, see if I can put it on the policy. And at least I can wait till the roads are quiet and take it out on the road and drive around the block and try and bust it free. It starts and runs readily enough. Okay, let me do a bit of thinking then and have a chat with the insurers. Okay, back in a bit then. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. I'm going to try another method of freeing off the clutch. Believe it or not, I've insured the car and taxed it, so I can drive it on the public road. I'm not going to though, because it's not a very nice day and the clutch is stuck. But I might need to take it out on the public road to try and free off the clutch. But I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to start it up and warm it up, and then have it in top gear and try applying the brakes and the throttle at the same time. So yeah, let's try that. I've opened both doors so there's a through draft. Shall I put the ignition on? Hang on. Okay, well, I don't quite know what's happened, but the brake pedal isn't working properly now. The brake pedal's gone down to the floor. There's fluid in the cylinder. Obviously that's just working on the back brakes. Not warm, not even warm. I haven't come out dressed for work, and I'll just come out to try this thing, which I can just do from the driver's seat. Here's something new. Well, this didn't arrive in the post. I went and fetched it. It's a battery from Halfords. When you look at most batteries and you look from that side with the posts towards you, the positive is on the right. This one, the positive is on the left, and it's the correct orientation to fit these battery leads. This is positive earth. I'll probably change it to negative earth, but at the moment this will get us going. I can always turn the battery around and redo the leads. Okay, so I don't know what's happened to my brakes now, so maybe it's a good job I didn't take it out on the road then. I wonder what's happened there. Will it recover? No, look, they're right down to the floor. What on earth? Weird, isn't it? Did bubbles come out then? Okay, righto. I'll have a look at the footage and see what's going on. That doesn't fill me with confidence though. I've got something going on that I need to sort out for, and basically my daily driver, the windscreen is broken, and the man's going to come and repair the windscreen. Well, you know, put a new screen in, but I need to get it in the dry. I need to get it in here. I'm going to have to move the 100E and possibly just park it outside for a day or two. So it would be good if I could drive it to make it manoeuvrable. So it's got no brakes now, so I can't drive it now. But I'm just a little bit of a loss as to what would have caused that. I'll get changed and put my dirty clothes on and have a good look round underneath. But the fluid level is up, isn't it, reasonably? It isn't like... I think the master cylinder's just... Well, I don't know. I'm not going to judge. Well, I'm a bit concerned that obviously that I could have been driving that. Right. Yeah, okay. So not a successful attempt at releasing the clutch. It was something that I hadn't tried. So I will, and now I've got to deal with the fact that the brakes are not working. My natural instinct is to look towards the master cylinder. Again, I have got a new one. I'll fit the new one again. and bleed it through and see how I get on. I will decide what I want to do then, and I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Cheers then, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. I'm getting ready to be able to go to drive on the road, and one of the things I need is a front number plate. I've bought some stickers, and I've taken an old number plate and sprayed it black. Unfortunately, I've put my fingerprints on it. The idea is to just put the stickers on there, and you know, it'll have the car's number on it. I've repaired the brackets on the bumper that take the number plate. This one was still intact, that one, and I've drilled an extra hole in it. And what I've done, I've bolted a bracket onto the remnants of the old bracket there. You can see a bolt there, and I've drilled a hole in that as well. Before I put it back on, I've just took some oil and sprayed that up into the box sections. Put some of that up there like that. Total loss system. Why not, you know, there's a hole there into the box section, why not put a bit of oil up it? So I've put a bit of anti-seize onto the bolts, and I'm just going to put this bumper back on. Okay, not much to show really there, is there? I'll tell you what's going on. I've got two things that are stopping me from driving it on the road. Well, other than very minor things like number plates. The clutch is stuck and the brakes have failed. While I've been trying to unstick the clutch and I was using the brakes no longer work. So I've got to fix those. You'll also be aware that I've been doing some tidying up. That's because I've got to get my daily driver in here so that a chap can change the windscreen. So what do? Do I pull the engine out, you know, to unstick the clutch? Big job, need the engine hoist, takes up room. Or do I fix the brakes? Doesn't need so much room. I think I'll fix the brakes, because that will allow me to drive it on the road, and it might be that the clutch will free off after driving on the road a little bit, going on and off the throttle if I go out when it's quiet. The most important thing is to fix the brakes. You can see that I'm kind of thinking this through and coming to a conclusion as I'm talking. So then I can drive it on the road. If I drive it on the road and it doesn't unstick, then I'll pull the engine. Does that sound like a reasonable idea? It's a little bit awkward driving it on the road with the clutch stuck, but it's not impossible. As long as you're aware that the clutch is stuck, you know, it isn't dangerous either. Okay, so while I'm waiting for them to dry then, I might as well have a go at getting the brakes working. And I think what I'm going to do is swap the master cylinder again back to a new one. So I'll swap the master cylinder, re-bleed the brakes, and then see where that leaves me. Okay, I'll get set up for that then, and I'll bring you back when I've got something to report. I'm going to So that's okay. There is a pedal. I wouldn't say it's the very, very best pedal I've ever had, you know, in my life, but let's just see how that transpires. Okay, hopefully I've got working brakes now then. Thing is, I've got no wheels on, I've got no number plates, so at least I've overcome that little hurdle. When I've got everything in place, I'll try and give it a run around the block just to free off the clutch if I can. If not, I'll be pulling the engine. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello. Look, I bought these vinyl stickers, and I don't know how to do it, but I've put some soapy water on, and on this one I peeled the backing off, and it appears to have, well, I'm not 100% sure that they're stuck properly. I don't know how long you're supposed to leave it before you peel this. They call it like the masking tape. But I wet this one a bit more, and I've wet the masking tape as well. I might try and leave this one a bit longer. But it's quite good because the tape gives you the correct spacing. And to be honest, I'm quite pleased with them. I hope I've done it right. These are silver on black, which is legal. They're not the old-fashioned font, but the letters, the numbers and letters are bigger than the modern ones, and they're the same height as the old ones, 90mm. These are two modern number plates that I've sprayed black. Just something to get me going with some decent number plates. Okay, righto. I'll bring you back when there's more to show, but I just wanted to show you these as they are. They come on this sort of backing that you peel off. Pretty neat, really. You can see I've got air stuck in it. I just don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know how you're supposed to do it. Okay, righto. Let's bring you back when there's more to show. You got to understand what does the car look like that they're going on. Let's anyway. Okay, I'll have a go at peeling this off and see how I get on. Ought to use two hands really, I suppose. You see, that's just lifted that straight off. So okay, that's not ready yet. Okay, I'll leave it to dry a bit, and then I'll give it a go. Okay, righto. Back in a bit then. Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. Here is my 32 sedan. There is my 100e. Okay, now the 100e engine runs, the brakes work. Haven't put my number plates on yet, and even though the clutch doesn't work, I'm going to try and drive it. But first I need to get the sedan out and move it to the side over here in the garden so that I can get the 100e past. So I think I'll put the number plates on first, and then once it's running I can just go straight out. I've arranged insurance and I've taxed the vehicle, so legally I've met the requirements because this car doesn't need an MOT. I'll show you the number plates and I'll get those put on. Okay. Not 100% happy with those. It's okay. It'll do. You see the old-fashioned plates have like a surround. What I was thinking of doing, I'll probably end up getting some made. I just didn't want to mess about. I need to find somewhere that can do them locally, where I can just take whatever documentation I need rather than sending it off. What I thought about doing was kind of doing it like that. I think that looks better actually. So I'll probably do that, but just for now I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'll probably get an old plate and use it as a surround. It's just an idea that I had. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Right, okay, I'll see what I need to do to put the back one on then. I could just leave the back, but I have made this plate, so might as well put that on. So what I think I need to do is spot through from the back and put a bolt through. Having said that though, it's rather close to the edge of the plate. I'm just looking at how far in from the edge those holes are. They're a bit too close to the edge, aren't they? So I'd have to drill a hole there and a hole there, and then drill new holes here, which isn't ideal. I might just leave this one off for now to save time messing about. Yeah, I think I'll just leave that like it is. I know it's not very good, but it'll have to do. Let's see if the sedan will start. Let the fuel pump prime. Turn the fuel pump off. Okay, right, you ready to sort of have a go? I'm not sure I am. Okay, there's the 100E. I'm going to start it up and then stop it, then put it into gear and then kind of lurch it out the garage. So I think I'm going to do. So this is the first drive, but it's not really the first drive because I need to free the clutch. I'm only driving it to free the clutch. It's part of the build process in effect. If I can free the clutch, it'll save me having to pull the engine. So it's quite, you know, an advantage to be able to free the clutch. So let's see if we can do that. Trouble is, it does involve driving on the road. You know how busy it is around here. Wow, it went. Well, do you remember seeing it sat there when I first had it unloaded? There it is again, look. I'll put the lights on. I'll stick some fuel in it. Okay. Well, what can you say? What can you say? Oh dear. Okay, right. Okay. It smells a bit warm. Well, there we are. There's the 100E after its first maiden drive on public roads in what? 40 years plus. And it don't look too bad, does it? It smells a bit hot, but you know, you got to think about, well, there's all sorts of grease on the exhaust and stuff like that. All looking good down here. I've ordered something for tying the battery down. Yeah, it's nicely warm, hopefully not too hot. Radiator is holding water, that's good. Yeah, what can you say? Carb's not leaking, fuel pump's not leaking, I don't think. The brakes appeared to work, they didn't seem terrible. Steering worked. The only thing that doesn't work is the clutch. And I think basically I need to get the engine out, or at least forward, you know, radiator out, engine crane on, gearbox unbolted, engine off and moved forward. You witnessed me trying to break it loose. I have given it a go, haven't I? I've tried to bust it loose. Let's try and take this in perspective. I'd say that was a pretty good first drive. You know, everything worked, indicators worked, I know the side lights work. I know I've got problems with the headlights, and I've got a couple of things to rectify that. I'll show you those at some point, not now, so don't expect what came in the post Mart little fanfare. I'd say pretty good, to be honest. I'm pretty pleased with that. I quite like the look. I quite like the steel wheels and no hubcaps look, you know, to go with its rough and ready state. The sort of little racer sort of look. Yeah, quite like it. Of course, that drive was in second gear all the way. Fuel gauge works. What can I say? Excellent. Let's try and sum it up a little bit. I've enjoyed doing the work. I've enjoyed making the videos. I've enjoyed the feedback and interest that the videos have generated. So I'd say win-win all round from every point of view. I've got a soft spot for these cars, you can tell that, and this being an early one is nice. You know, the 3-bar grille is a little bit unusual. The heavy bumpers with the strip are a little bit unusual. The chrome headlight trims are quite common, but they are associated with early vehicles. This didn't have those. The heavy bumper at the rear, all original early spec, you know, stuff. I'm going to put the sedan in the garage and put the 100e back in the garage and have a look at pulling the motor. I might not do it now, but at some point I will be looking at pulling the motor. What a great looking car. I love it. It is a great looking little car. No, it's a great little car, that is. I've really, you know, so I've grown accustomed to your face. Well, I've really taken to this one, even though it's got hardly any power. No good on motorways. You know, it's a complete waste of time, isn't it? But just for bombing around locally. And the thing about things like this, you just drive them at full throttle everywhere. You know, the fact that it's hardly got any power doesn't matter. You just learn to milk everything from it that you can get. Thanks very much for those who have followed the project. In reality, there's plenty more to come, because, you know, there's lots of little jobs to do, isn't there? But for now, I'm going to call it good and say, yeah, successful road test, even though the clutch didn't free off. I think that's pretty good, to be honest. My first road test, and I made it around the block twice and didn't break down or attract unwanted attention. Who could ask for more? Well, a clutch that don't stick for a start. Okay then, thank you very much for following along. I hope you've enjoyed the journey. The journey isn't over yet, so stick with me and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Okay, I'm sitting in the car, it hasn't moved. I cannot believe what just happened, and obviously it wasn't on camera. My neighbours came out, I was just chatting to them, telling them about the car, and I said, okay, I'm going to lurch it into the garage now with the clutch stuck. And I said, do you want to push? And I said, yeah, maybe we'll give it a clutch. We'll push it into the garage and then I'll pull the motor. You know, I've just been telling them I've tried it round the block and it didn't go. Anyway, I came here and I said, tell you what, just for a laugh, I will try just lurching it in. And I had it, but for some reason I selected top instead of first. I was a little bit flustered. I pushed the clutch down, I pulled the starter and it went lurch, 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 but it was like really slow, and then suddenly the engine fired and it was running just like this. Look, it's going in and out of gear. Look. Second. First. Reverse. So wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Clutch is a bit high, but it's actually freed off. So should we go for a little bit more of a drive around with the gears working? That'd be good, wouldn't it? I can't believe it. I can't believe it, honestly. The thing is, if I'd have said, yeah, maybe let's play it safe, let's push it in. If I'd have pushed it in, I'd have pulled the motor out. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I think I'll buy a lottery ticket this week. Okay, right, so there we are. Slow the idle down. Okay, let's get set back up then. I'll shut the gate and we'll have another little run round. Oh, clutch judder. I'm surprised, it probably all needs polishing, doesn't it? Charging, so that's one of the first jobs, to try and get it charging. The steering's not too bad. I haven't greased the steering box or put anything in the steering box. Doesn't seem too noisy considering there's no carpet or roof, you know, divider or anything like that. About 6 months since I bought this car, and you have to sort of admit it was pretty bad, wasn't it? That was bad learning that drive before. Clutch is a bit high. Clutch is high, brakes are low. crying very good. You have to thrash it a bit in second to get it to go into third. Those familiar with the early Fords are familiar with this 3-speed gearbox arrangement. Nice double declutch into first there. $1172cc this is. Car shows now to take it to. I'll have to get the windows winding up and down as well. It's on the dip switch, that's a problem with the dip switch. The dip switch don't work well, the new one arrived. Look at the lovely leafy, autumn colours. Leave it in top. Now there's something about a steering wheel, that's no good. I'm not too keen on this either. Magic tree. myself, did I put oil in it? Yeah, I did. My old man had one of these when I was a kid. Talking about up to about 65, 1965, and then he got an Anglia. So this is an Anglia, but he got the, what we used to call the Anglia, which is the one with the notchback roof. See what, for a first road test, it's no embarrassment, you know, it's quiet, it's refined, it isn't like, you know, I've just got it running on open exhausts and, you know, all the bodywork hanging off. Okay, there's a couple of holes in the doors, but hey, that's pretty good. I've also managed to hit just a dry day. There ain't much room for the pedals. I just managed to hit the accelerator and the brake at the same time. So we made about to rev it a bit in a second. There's no, when I'm driving along, there's no creaks, rattles, groans. You know, the body is really nice and stiff, isn't it? It's not all creaking when you go over a camber change. And it's really, all that welding I've done is really sound, isn't it? It's really strong, you know, it feels really strong. I know it's just a perception rather than stone cold fact, but it feels good. It feels solid. God knows what it felt like before with all the floor falling apart. Although having said that, thinking about it, the floor was probably still okay when it was driven. It's deteriorated since it was last driven, hasn't it? But this hasn't been driven for 41 years. This is the first drive in 41 years. So that is, you know, something to celebrate, isn't it? That's very I was going to say sociable, that's not the word I'm thinking of now. Accelerator brake again. Might be a bit soon for Tom. That's alright. Question is, will the dogs get in here? I don't think they will. Okay. Sit there and then I'll see you back at the house. I've just left it sitting there idling for about 10 minutes while I was talking to the neighbour. Wow, I'm amazed that that clutch freed off. Okay. Oh, clutch judder. How about that then? I've got to make room here for the daily driver to get the windscreen done, so that's great that it's running. Okay, turn it off. Okay, there we go. There's 100E, safe and sound, back in the garage. And I just do not know how that came about, that clutch freed off. It just must be something to do with the heat cycles. That's a fantastic result from my point of view. I'd be pulling the engine out now. If we'd pushed the car in, my neighbour suggested we just push it in. If we'd have pushed it in, it wouldn't have freed off, and I'd have had to get the motor out. So that's great. So that really is a successful first drive. So now I've got to, create a little list of things that need doing, like getting the charging working, stuff like that. That back panel doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. You know what I mean? It looks not presentable, but it's not a disgrace, is it? It's not a disgrace. Okay, right. Thank you very much for joining me in the garage today. Thanks for coming on the test drive with me. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking like. Thanks for leaving a comment. Always good to leave a comment. Thanks a lot then. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.